Today is June 6th, 2023, and we've got this pregnancy announcement, litter announcement for Fern. She's right here. She has the fuchsia collar is on Fern, kind of the purpley pinky color. And then we've got Maple, and hers is red, kind of like the red maple. And so you can tell the two apart a little bit from their collar colors, but honestly in the camera that might be a little harder to figure out. So Maple is a little bit taller than Fern, so you might be able to tell that difference. And right now Maple's kind of standing in the sun, so it stands out a little bit more. Maple is just a little bit lighter in color, not much from Fern. So as you can see, depending on the color of their coat and how much sunshine's hitting them, it really changes what their coat color looks like. Right now Maple's in the shade, Fern's in the sun, so we're just out for their morning walk, and they're just loving the luscious green grasses. We actually do not discourage them eating the grasses. That's perfectly normal for a dog to do. We let them do that here in the forest on our property, but in a residential environment, if your lawn is fertilized or sprayed with pesticides, you do not want them to eat your grass. So discourage that there, but otherwise that's normal. And these guys are kind of feeling picked on because they're on a leash. For this video I decided I'm going to keep them on a leash, and they're feeling picked on. They want to just go. This is the side of our land that we kind of call the preserve. There's nothing over here. It's 100% forested. It's about half of our land, half of the 70 acres that we have here. And so there's only a trail through this side of it, just a walking trail. We can drive a vehicle over here, but we don't do that very often. There's no gravel or anything down. It's just the preserve side of our land. And so great place to take dogs for the walks, things like that. With Fern being as close to her delivery date, she is like 3 days away from her official due date. Now she might take longer than that, but with her due date this close, I don't want her to over-exercise or overexert herself. So, you know, we just keep her in the house, and when she's outside, then she's on a leash so that she doesn't just get too worked up too fast, and right now too hot too soon with this delivery that's pending. So we're just keeping them on a leash for today's video for those purposes, to keep her from overdoing it, because they can kind of overdo it if you let them. And also we don't want her deciding to sneak off into the woods and decide to have the pups in her own little quiet corner of the world without us knowing where she went. So that can easily happen here, and if they just lay down and stay quiet and decide to have pups, we'll never find them. It would be very hard to find them. We'd probably have a search party out with our other dogs to try to find her, but we don't want that to happen. Anyways, so I just wanted to use this morning's walk through the forest to introduce Maple and Fern to you. They are both gorgeous visualists, wonderful personalities. Their primary physical differences are that Fern is just the average size for a female Vizsla, and Maple is a tall size for a female Vizsla. Maple is a full-size Vizsla, full-size female, and Fern is the average size. Man, they just want to go. They're just pulling on the leashes. Girls, settle down. Settle down. Come here. Come here. You're pulling too hard. Yeah, you're giving me a workout. I don't want you guys to have the workout, and you're giving me the workout. So, anyways, so that's their primary differences, is their size. And the father, Cliff, I should get him on a video, but get him out here walking. But he is a standard size Vizsla. He's not super tall for a male, just a little bit above average. And girls, slow down, slow down. But Cliff's a great Vizsla, great personality, just that typical Velcro Vizsla personality with loving people, loves his attention from us, loves to get out and run, get out and play, loves to play fetch and things like that. So these guys have those same personality traits as well, and they're feeling kind of picked on. They're just pulling on this leash today. We have a lot of off-leash time for them, so they don't get tons of leash time here. So they're a little bit rusty on their leash manners at the moment. If I were to kind of scold them and correct them a little bit, we could make some progress with that, but we're not here to do that today, right now, with these gals. So we'll just let them be for the video, keep them unwrapped from getting too far behind me. I'm trying to hold the camera, trying to hold the camera and keep them going in the same direction, so I don't have to swap the leash on the hands too frequently for us. So, but anyways, this is Fern and Maple, and we're just gonna enjoy our little walk here this morning. So this side of the land we have some security cameras, trail cams, things like that. We see the deer love to walk over here, and the coyotes, the wild turkeys. Every once in a while we'll get a bobcat on the camera, not very often. But today's a beautiful, cool morning. Cooled off a little bit, and not so hot. Not starting out quite as hot as it has been, and we're just taking a chance to enjoy the cool air instead of having it be a warm, sweaty walk. So we'll just go for this little walk here. Sometimes the things that gets us out here is when we go for a walk. There's bound to be a squirrel. That'll really get the dogs going, get them running. And that would probably be a little too much for these girls at this advanced stage of their pregnancies. So, what do you smell, Maple? What do you smell? Huh? There's something over there. Am I getting your attention? I got something in my shoe. I got a rock or something stabbing me in my shoe. I gotta pull that out. Okay, we're back. These girls were patient enough with me to get my shoe off, get that pokey thing out of my shoe while I was standing pelican or crane, stork, however you want to say, here on the trail, and they did not tip me over. So thank you, ladies, for being nice with me while I had my shoe off, that you didn't pull me over. So anyways, we'll keep going on our little walk here. This little trail probably goes about 2/3 to 3/4 of the way of the distance of our land. So out and back, it's a little bit of a walk. It's a nice little, probably in the range of half a mile out and back, 1/4 mile one way. So the winds brought that little branch down. We've got a bunch of vines growing up that tree. I'm sure that poplar tree is annoyed by those vines trying to take it over, but it is what it is. So girls, you gotta quit pulling. I know, we got going again and you want to get going, huh? Settle down, settle down, settle down. You're pulling on your collar so hard, making you huff and puff. It's okay, it's okay. You're okay. You're all right. We're gonna slow down a little bit. Make you relax some. We'll go for a walk. One of the other reasons, got to keep these guys on a leash for this walk, is we do have venomous snakes here. We have copperheads and timber rattlers. I'm not too worried about the copperheads. Most of the time, the copperheads are not very aggressive. They will back down or recoil and kind of run off if the dogs get close to them. The exception to that rule is if the copperheads are ready to shed their skin and they don't see very well because their skin covers kind of their eyes, then the copperheads get a little bit more aggressive if they can't see very well, or if it's really late at night, and those types of things. The timber rattlers seem to be a little bit more aggressive just right off the start of any interactions with them. We've killed several of those. We do not kill the non-venomous snakes when we see those. We leave those alone. We want those to stay in our little climate ecosystem. Let them keep the balance of things. But we do take out the venomous ones. We leave the non-venomous ones to compete with the venomous ones. So that's one of the reasons why I got these guys on a leash today. We have had a couple of our dogs over the years, 3 years that we've been here, they have been bit. Both of them survived, but it was not fun, and we're pretty sure their strikes were from a copperhead. It wasn't nearly as potent as the timber rattlers, so. But that was no fun at all to deal with some snake strikes with that. So we do kind of keep our eyes peeled as we're walking, especially through an area like this side. The other side of our property, our driveway is really, really long through the woods, and it's all gravel and super easy to see anything that's on the road at all. So, but these grassy areas a little harder to see anything. So we kind of take it a little bit slower as we go through. So, but we're excited to have these pups coming. Fern's due date is Friday. Maple's due date is a week later. I would not be surprised if Maple goes a little bit sooner. I don't know if you can tell from this angle. Maple is a pretty big framed dog. She's both taller and longer, but her prego belly is showing more than Fern's. On Fern, I'm just guessing. I think there's 7 or 8 pups in there. On Maple, I'll be surprised if she has less than 9. I think there's 9 or more in there. She's just a little bit bigger, and her bigger frame, you would think would hide it a little bit more if she had the same amount of pups. So we'll see. It's always a guessing game as to how many arrive. We do not do pregnancy x-rays with our females. It would be nice, you know, our curious minds would just love to know how many pups are in there. But we just feel like it is what it is, and so no need to necessarily put the mama through the stress of an extra vet visit, you know, a trip to the doctor, the x-ray exposure, you know, obviously that's pretty minimal, but still, if you can avoid it, if there's not a serious need for it, then we opt to not go the route of having pregnancy x-rays just to determine the number of pups that are in there. And oftentimes it's pretty hard to determine that. If they're doing an ultrasound, you know, there's less radiation exposure than what an x-ray would do. But at the same time, ultrasounds are even less accurate, because it's, I shouldn't say less accurate. I suppose there's some options that are better than others out there as far as the equipment that they use. But so far, experience with the equipment that we've seen used is you can only see a portion of their belly simultaneously, so it's hard to know. Basically, when they're doing ultrasounds, they're trying to count spines. You know, they can see the spine pretty easy on the ultrasounds, and same thing with x-rays, they count the spines. But with an ultrasound, it's hard to see everything all at once, so it's hard to know if they double count something on accident, or if they miss some on accident, and those types of things. So we don't do the ultrasounds either. So we just let Mother Nature do her thing, and we do ours, and we just take care of the mamas and take care of the babies as they arrive. So we went to the end of our trail. I don't know if you noticed that. We went to the end, and there's a turnaround. Now we're heading back. So I think these guys know they're on their way back. They're not pulling quite as much. They know they're heading back home. It's not as exciting to go back as it is to go out. Sorry, girls, but we gotta go home sometime. Start the day. So our house actually is right through there. I don't know if you can see the roof through the light and solar panels on the roof, but there's a ginormous ravine. It actually drops down about 80, 90, maybe 100 feet down between us and the house. That's where the creek runs through it. We have 3 springs that are straight ahead of us up on the hillsides, and the confluence of those produces a small creek that flows down the center of our land off to the neighbors. So right now, Maple's on my left, Fern's on the right. If you haven't been able to keep them straight, Maple's a shade lighter than Fern. And body condition wise, Maple tends to be just a slight bit leaner. Oh, you gotta do a potty. We understand you're pregnant. We'll let you take as many potty breaks as you need. Maple's just slightly leaner than Fern. So they both eat really well, but Maple just walks hers off a little bit. Oh, we got a tick. So far on our little walk, that's to be expected. So we don't actually use tick sprays. Kill them when we find them. Vizslas are wonderful. Their coat is so slick, and their fur is so fine that it's pretty hard for ticks to sneak in there unnoticed. So when we get back, we just give them a good belly rub and rub down, see what's crawling on them, kill them, pull them off, kill them. And 90% of the time we get them before they've even had a chance to take a taste of the dogs. And usually within, you know, if there is something that gets to their skin level, we'll find them pretty quick and just hanging out with them. Get it pulled off, and then we don't have to worry about, you know, exposures to things from many of the over-the-counter tick and flea treatments. We actually don't have any flea problems. We've never used a flea remedy, but we do find ticks out here, so just give them a rub down and pull them off when we find them. Haven't had any problems with that. So, hi girls, having a little snack on your way back. So we're just about ready to turn the corner on the trail. This is actually one of the streams. Comes out of the hillside up there. One of the springs comes here. There's 3 others, excuse me. There's 2 that flow year round. One that dries up pretty quick, so we don't count it. But that kind of gets us to this end, and those others join up and make a little creek at the bottom. So we'll head back to the house, and hope you guys enjoyed this little video, and let us know if you have any questions about these pups or the mamas. Have a great day. See you next time.